Remember words by reading essays. The fragile threads of friendship.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we're going to study an essay titled The Fragile Threads of Friendship. First, I'd like you to listen to the entire passage carefully to get a general understanding of its meaning and tone.
Friendship, like glass, can be strong yet fragile. When people constantly chip away at trust with small lies, or let jealousy dilute affection, bonds that once felt eternal begin to tremble. Sometimes, quarrels turn into chest-thumping displays, or even swashbuckling gestures meant only to prove superiority. Such behavior only serves to enfeeble and debilitate the closeness between two hearts, while bitterness slowly undercuts the joy of companionship. If these patterns persist, love and loyalty may wane, leaving only shadows of what once was. Some prefer to bluff, pretending everything is fine, but true friendship cannot survive on pretense. Real bonds are formed when both friends trod carefully, being circumspect with words, never seeking to sabotage trust. Once betrayal occurs, however, guilt often remains at large, and the wound may forever desecrate what was sacred. Ego-driven quarrels can be downright satanic, even nefarious, turning affection into hostility. But real companionship entails patience, forgiveness, and respect. Without these, every smile risks becoming disingenuous, every word empty. Secrets may sometimes leak out of careless mouths, shaking confidence. Even discussions about pedigree or status can divide friends. Worse still, when quarrels become gory, words spill like blood, wounding deeper than knives. True friendship shows itself in simple moments. Two people recumbent on a couch, laughing until late night, or one standing by the other when they're distraught. A true friend will always harbor kindness, never envy, never hypocrisy. Yet hypocritical gestures, hypocritical apologies will only poison bonds. The strongest friendships are those where we can put our faith in one another, where silence itself becomes tacit communication. Such bonds not only survive hardship, but also embrace change. Even when one becomes a freshly anointed leader, while the other remains ordinary, they still walk side by side. Yes, there'll be nerve-wracking misunderstandings, but friendship, if genuine, survives them. It bends, but never breaks. For in the end, friendship is not about grand gestures, but about the quiet, unshakable trust that time itself cannot erode.
Now, let's listen to the passage again. This time, I will explain some key vocabulary and important phrases as we go along. So please pay close attention and feel free to take notes.
Friendship, like glass, can be strong yet fragile. When people constantly chip away at trust with small lies,
In the text, the phrase chip away at means to gradually weaken or damage something over time. Imagine slowly breaking a solid object piece by piece. Here, small lies or negative actions don't destroy friendship immediately, but they slowly reduce trust little by little.
Does it mean the damage is not obvious at first?
Exactly. It happens gradually, so people may not notice the harm right away.
Can it be used for things other than trust?
Yes, it can describe anything that is slowly reduced, like confidence, patience, or even physical objects.
or let jealousy dilute affection. Bonds that once felt eternal begin to tremble.
In the text, the word dilute means to make something weaker or less strong. Originally, it comes from adding water to a liquid, which reduces its intensity. Here, when jealousy dilutes affection, it means the strong feeling of care becomes weaker and less pure.
So it's like reducing the strength of an emotion.
Exactly. The feeling is still there, but it's not as strong as before.
Can dilute be used in other situations?
Yes, it can describe weakening ideas, influence, or even responsibility when they lose their original strength.
Sometimes, quarrels turn into chest-thumping displays.
In the text, chest thumping describes behavior where someone shows off or tries to prove their strength or superiority in a loud, exaggerated way. It comes from the image of someone beating their chest to display dominance, like in the animal world.
So is it always about being aggressive?
Often, yes. It suggests pride, boasting, or trying to intimidate others.
Can it happen in arguments?
Definitely. In arguments, chest thumping means people are more focused on showing they're right or powerful than actually solving the problem.
Or even swashbuckling gestures meant only to prove superiority.
In the text, swashbuckling refers to bold, dramatic, and showy actions meant to impress others. The word originally comes from adventurous sword fighters who behaved in a flashy, heroic way. Here, it suggests exaggerated gestures used to prove superiority rather than solve the conflict.
Does it always mean something positive? Like being brave?
Not necessarily. It can describe bravery. But in this context, it leans more toward showing off.
So it's more about appearance than real action.
Exactly. It focuses on dramatic display rather than genuine intention or meaningful resolution.
Such behavior only serves to enfeeble and debilitate the closeness between two hearts.
In the text, enfeeble and debilitate both mean to make something weak. But there is a slight difference. Enfeeble suggests gradually reducing strength, while debilitate often means causing more serious or lasting weakness. Here, they describe how harmful behavior weakens the bond of friendship over time.
Are these words interchangeable?
They are similar, but debilitate is usually stronger and implies more damage.
Can they be used for people as well?
Yes. Both can describe physical or emotional weakness in people, not just relationships.
While bitterness slowly undercuts the joy of companionship.
In the text, undercuts means to weaken or reduce the effectiveness of something, often in a subtle or indirect way. It's like removing support from underneath, causing something to lose strength or stability. Here, bitterness undercuts joy, meaning it slowly takes away the happiness in the friendship.
Is it similar to damage?
Yes, but undercut often suggests a quieter, less obvious kind of damage.
Can it be used in arguments?
Absolutely. For example, one person's actions can undercut another's confidence or credibility.
If these patterns persist, love and loyalty may wane, leaving only shadows of what once was.
In the text, the word wane means to gradually decrease or become weaker over time. It is often used to describe things like feelings, strength, or interest slowly fading. Here, when love and loyalty wane, it means they slowly lose their intensity and begin to disappear.
Is wane always about something slow?
Yes. It usually suggests a gradual decline rather than a sudden change.
Can it be used for things like energy or motivation?
Definitely. For example, your motivation can wane if you feel tired or discouraged over time.
Some prefer to bluff, pretending everything is fine, but true friendship cannot survive on pretense.
In the text, bluff means to pretend or act as if everything is fine when it is not. It involves hiding the truth or misleading others, often to avoid conflict or protect oneself. Here, it shows that pretending cannot sustain real friendship.
Is bluffing the same as lying?
It's similar. But bluffing often means creating a false impression rather than directly stating something untrue.
Can bluffing ever be harmless?
Sometimes. But in close relationships, it can weaken trust if it replaces honesty.
Real bonds are formed when both friends trod carefully.
In the text, trod is the past tense of tread, which means to walk or step. Here, it is used metaphorically when it says friends trod carefully. It means they act with caution, especially in what they say or do, to avoid hurting each other.
So it doesn't always mean physical walking.
Correct. It can describe careful behavior, not just movement.
Why use trod instead of walked?
Trod adds a sense of intention and care, emphasizing thoughtful, cautious steps.
Being circumspect with words.
In the text, circumspect means being very careful and thoughtful before speaking or acting. A circumspect person considers possible consequences and avoids saying or doing something that might cause harm. Here, it describes how friends choose their words wisely to protect trust.
Is it similar to being cautious?
Yes, but it also includes thinking ahead and being aware of the situation.
Can someone be too circumspect?
Sometimes, if they become overly careful and hesitate to express themselves honestly.
Never seeking to sabotage trust.
In the text, sabotage means to deliberately damage or ruin something, often in a hidden or indirect way. It suggests intentional harm. Here, it refers to actions that destroy trust in a friendship, sometimes without being obvious at first.
Does sabotage always have to be planned?
Usually, yes. It often involves some level of intention, even if it's subtle.
Can people sabotage relationships without realizing it?
Yes. Sometimes people act in ways that harm a relationship without fully understanding the consequences.
Once betrayal occurs, however, guilt often remains at large.
In the text, the phrase at large means something is free, widespread, or not controlled. Here, when it says guilt remains at large, it suggests that the feeling of guilt continues to exist and has not been resolved or contained.
Is it only used for feelings?
No. It's often used for people, like a criminal who is still free and not caught.
So in this case, it means guilt is still present.
Exactly. It means the guilt is still around and affecting the situation.
And the wound may forever desecrate what was sacred.
In the text, desecrate means to treat something sacred or very important with disrespect, or to damage it in a way that harms its value. Here, it describes how betrayal can destroy the special trust and closeness in a friendship.
So it's stronger than just hurting something.
Yes. It implies a kind of violation or deep disrespect, not just ordinary harm.
Can it be used for objects too? Not just feelings.
Absolutely. You can desecrate a place, an object, or anything people consider sacred.
Ego-driven quarrels can be downright satanic.
In the text, satanic is used to describe actions that are extremely harmful, cruel, or evil. It emphasizes the destructive nature of ego-driven quarrels that turn friendship into hostility.
Does it mean literally related to Satan?
Not in this context. Here, it's figurative, showing the extreme negativity of the behavior.
Can it be used for minor bad actions?
Usually not. It's reserved for very harmful or malicious actions, not small mistakes.
Even nefarious, turning affection into hostility.
In the text, nefarious describes actions that are wicked, harmful, or morally wrong. It emphasizes how ego-driven quarrels can seriously damage friendship, showing the destructive side of human behavior.
Is it the same as just being bad?
Not exactly. Nefarious implies intentional and serious wrongdoing, not just a small mistake.
Can it be used for things like plans or schemes?
Yes. Any plan, action, or behavior that is deliberately harmful can be called nefarious.
But real companionship entails patience, forgiveness, and respect.
In the text, entails means to involve or require something as a necessary part. Here, it says real companionship entails patience, forgiveness, and respect, meaning these qualities are essential for a true friendship.
So it's like saying something comes with something else.
Exactly. If you have true friendship, patience and respect automatically come with it.
Can entails be used for tasks or jobs too?
Yes. For example, a job may entail hard work, meaning hard work is part of what the job requires.
Without these, every smile risks becoming disingenuous, every word empty.
In the text, disingenuous means not being sincere or honest, often pretending to feel something you don't. Here, it describes smiles or words in friendship that may seem friendly but are actually fake or misleading.
Is it like lying?
Similar. But it's more about hiding true feelings rather than telling a direct lie.
Can someone be disingenuous without meaning harm?
Sometimes. Yes. People might be polite or cautious. But in the context of friendship, it usually weakens trust.
Secrets may sometimes leak out of careless mouths, shaking confidence.
In the text, leak out of means that information or secrets are revealed unintentionally or carelessly. Here, it refers to how careless words can let private matters escape, shaking trust in friendship.
So it's like the secret gets out without meaning to.
Exactly. It's not a deliberate action, but the result is still harmful.
Can it be used for things other than secrets?
Yes. For example, water can leak out of a pipe, or ideas can leak out before they're ready to be shared.
Even discussions about pedigree or status can divide friends.
In the text, pedigree refers to someone's background, family, or social status. Here, discussions about pedigree can create divisions, showing that friendship can be affected by judging people based on their origins or achievements.
So it's not just about animals.
Right. While it's often used for animals, in this context it's about human heritage or social standing.
Can talking about pedigree harm relationships?
Yes. Focusing on status or background can make people feel judged and weaken trust or closeness in friendship.
Worse still, when quarrels become gory, words spill like blood, wounding deeper than knives.
In the text, gory literally means full of blood or violence. But here it's used figuratively to describe quarrels that are very harsh or emotionally painful. It emphasizes how arguments can deeply hurt friends.
So it doesn't mean actual blood in this case.
Correct. It's a way to show how damaging and intense the conflict feels.
Can gory be used for stories too?
Yes. Stories, movies, or descriptions of events can be called gory if they include vivid, shocking, or violent details.
True friendship shows itself in simple moments. Two people recumbent on a couch, laughing until late night.
In the text, recumbent means lying down or reclining in a relaxed position. Here, it describes friends lying comfortably on a couch, enjoying simple, happy moments together.
So it just means lying down.
Yes, but it often suggests being relaxed or resting, not just any position.
Can it be used for people outside of friendship scenes?
Absolutely. Anyone resting, like reading in bed or lying in a park, can be described as recumbent.
Or one standing by the other when they're distraught.
In the text, distraught means extremely upset, worried, or troubled. It describes someone who is emotionally shaken and needs support from a friend.
Is it stronger than just being sad?
Yes. It suggests intense emotion, often making it hard to think clearly.
Can it be used for small problems too?
Usually not. Distraught is reserved for serious emotional distress, not minor worries.
A true friend will always harbor kindness, never envy, never hypocrisy.
In the text, harbor means to hold or keep a feeling inside. Here, it says a true friend will harbor kindness, meaning they carry goodwill and positive feelings toward their friend.
Can it also be used for negative feelings?
Yes. Someone can harbor anger, resentment, or jealousy as well.
So it's about keeping feelings inside, not showing them.
Exactly. It focuses on maintaining a feeling internally, whether positive or negative.
Yet hypocritical gestures, hypocritical apologies, will only poison bonds.
In the text, hypocritical means pretending to have good qualities or feelings that you don't actually have. Here, it describes gestures or apologies in friendship that seem kind but are not genuine, which can damage trust.
So it's like faking kindness.
Exactly. It's showing one thing on the outside while feeling something different inside.
Can it happen without people realizing it?
Sometimes. Yes. People might not notice their own hypocrisy, but it can still hurt relationships.
The strongest friendships are those where we can put our faith in one another.
In the text, put our faith in means to trust someone completely, believing they will act with honesty, loyalty, and care. It's about relying on a friend with confidence.
Is it stronger than just trusting someone?
Yes. It implies deep trust, often without doubt, even in difficult situations.
Can it be used for things? Not just people.
Absolutely. You can put your faith in an idea, a plan, or even a system, meaning you believe it will work or succeed.
Where silence itself becomes tacit communication.
In the text, Tacit means something understood or implied without being spoken aloud. Here, silence itself becomes tacit communication, means friends can understand each other's feelings without saying anything.
So it's like unspoken understanding.
Exactly. It's communication or agreement that doesn't need words.
Can tacit be used in other situations?
Yes. For example, a tacit agreement between coworkers means they understand each other without explicitly discussing it.
Such bonds not only survive hardship, but also embrace change.
In the text, embrace means to accept or welcome something willingly. Here, it says friendships embrace change, meaning true friends accept each other's growth, roles, or life changes without judgment.
So it's more than just hugging.
Yes. In this context, it's about accepting or welcoming ideas, situations, or changes.
Can it be used for challenges too?
Absolutely. You can embrace challenges, meaning you face them positively instead of resisting.
Even when one becomes a freshly anointed leader, while the other remains ordinary, they still walk side by side.
In the text, freshly anointed means newly given a special role, title, or position. Here, it refers to one friend becoming a leader while the other remains ordinary, showing that friendship continues despite changes in status.
So it doesn't mean literally being anointed with oil.
Correct. It's used metaphorically to show someone newly appointed or recognized.
Can it be used outside of leadership roles?
Yes. It can describe anyone newly given an honor, title, or responsibility, not just leaders.
Yes, there will be nerve-wracking misunderstandings, but friendship, if genuine, survives them.
In the text, nerve-wracking means causing stress, worry, or anxiety. Here, it describes misunderstandings in friendship that make people feel tense or uneasy.
Is it the same as just being annoying?
Not exactly. It's stronger, it affects your nerves and can make you feel very anxious.
Can it be used for things other than friendships?
Yes. Exams, presentations, or waiting for important news can all be nerve-wracking experiences.
It bends, but never breaks. For in the end, friendship is not about grand gestures, but about the quiet, unshakable trust that time itself cannot erode.
All right. Let's listen to the full passage one more time. This will help you reinforce your understanding of both the content and the expressions we have discussed.
Friendship, like glass, can be strong yet fragile. When people constantly chip away at trust with small lies, or let jealousy dilute affection, bonds that once felt eternal begin to tremble. Sometimes, quarrels turn into chest-thumping displays, or even swashbuckling gestures meant only to prove superiority. Such behavior only serves to enfeeble and debilitate the closeness between two hearts, while bitterness slowly undercuts the joy of companionship. If these patterns persist, love and loyalty may wane, leaving only shadows of what once was. Some prefer to bluff, pretending everything is fine, but true friendship cannot survive on pretense. Real bonds are formed when both friends trod carefully, being circumspect with words, never seeking to sabotage trust. Once betrayal occurs, however, guilt often remains at large, and the wound may forever desecrate what was sacred. Ego-driven quarrels can be downright satanic, even nefarious, turning affection into hostility. But real companionship entails patience, forgiveness, and respect. Without these, every smile risks becoming disingenuous, every word empty, Secrets may sometimes leak out of careless mouths, shaking confidence. Even discussions about pedigree or status can divide friends. Worse still, when quarrels become gory, words spill like blood, wounding deeper than knives. True friendship shows itself in simple moments. Two people recumbent on a couch, laughing until late night, or one standing by the other when they're distraught. A true friend will always harbor kindness, never envy, never hypocrisy. Yet hypocritical gestures, hypocritical apologies will only poison bonds. The strongest friendships are those where we can put our faith in one another, where silence itself becomes tacit communication. Such bonds not only survive hardship, but also embrace change. Even when one becomes a freshly anointed leader, while the other remains ordinary, they still walk side by side. Yes, there'll be nerve-wracking misunderstandings, but friendship, if genuine, survives them. It bends, but never breaks. For in the end, friendship is not about grand gestures, but about the quiet, unshakable trust that time itself cannot erode.
That brings us to the end of today's lesson. Thank you for your attention. And I hope you have gained a deeper understanding of the text and its language.